Okay, Indiana Fever fans, we have some big news. The Fever have made a big move by signing three-time champ Natasha Howard as a free agent. This is actually a welcome back to Natasha Howard, as she was originally drafted by the Indiana Fever in 2014. But to be completely honest, I wasn't the most pumped on Natasha Howard coming over to the Fever, but she does have some pretty great accolades from her past, and being on the Dallas Wings, I don't think that her defense really showed that last season, but I will say, in her defense, the Dallas Wings have had some of the worst defense. I believe that they were actually a net negative defense since before they were even the Dallas Wings. But a scan through defensive statistics in Dallas is at or near the bottom of almost every category. The Wings' opponent shot the highest percentage from the field and from the three. Dallas also bled buckets, giving up the most free throws, points off turnovers, fast breaks, and points in the paint. Granted, last season, they had a lot of injuries, including Savely, including Segrist, including Howard herself. But let's look on the bright side of things. This could have just been a team issue because Natasha Howard's accolades. She was all defensive team in 2018 and 2019. She was all WNBA in 2019. She was defensive player of the year in 2019 and the most improved player in 2018. So this was quite a few years ago, but I think that this is still a step up from Natasha Smith, which kind of has me wondering what is going to happen with Natasha Smith. So she is on a $90K a year salary, which isn't that bad for the Indiana Fever's cap space. It makes me wonder if they might want to keep her as a bench player, but I think, judging from last season, she is not happy coming off the bench. So I think the Fever are going to look to see what they can get in a trade, possibly for Natasha Smith. And with the disaster that is Connecticut right now, they definitely seem to be looking into a rebuilding phase. And they are probably wanting to keep DeJounte Carrington at all costs. And I don't know if this would make DeJounte happy to have Natasha Smith, her partner, on her team, but they could possibly do a trade there. I wonder if Becca Allen would be a step up from Natasha Smith. I think she would kind of be a step up as a solid bench player, but I also wonder if it's just worth keeping Natasha Smith on the Fever as a bench player. The problem with keeping Natasha Smith as a bench player is Natasha Smith being unhappy and underperforming. So there could be a possibility of a trade for Marina Mabrey. I don't know if Connecticut would be willing to give up Marina Mabrey because she is a pretty solid player. She can snipe and she can come off the bench, even though she is starter caliber. And I don't necessarily think that Natasha Howard is the best long-term fit for the Indiana Fever due to her age, but I think she is good at that defensive four position, and she can help with spacing, getting Boston into the paint, and right now, that's what the Fever needs. Not to mention, she is a veteran, and Amber Cox was giving us this hint in an interview saying they are looking for veteran presence.
So I think as we're looking to free agency, we'll think about veterans coming in with that playoff experience.
They have something up their sleeve. And I have to think and I have to trust what this new front office is doing and the direction they're going. And I don't think they're only planning for this season. I think they are planning for the future as well. But as far as this season goes, I think that Natasha Howard was the best available free agent in the United States. I was thinking that they might go international for some talent, and that's still not off the table.
Obviously, we're getting out and we're scouting a lot of the college games that are going on, looking at players internationally.
But it is looking like Indiana has their starting five set up. So if we look at their cap space for the Indiana Fever, they have $657,000.6K to play with. And let's just subtract the $250K that they had just signed Kelsey Mitchell as a core member of the team. They have $407.6K to play with. And Natasha Howard, being a veteran, I think she is going to be going somewhere in the 200 to 214K. That's the veteran max that they can offer her. So let's also subtract 214K from that 407K. And we have 193,000.6K to play with for some bench depth, for some extra players. And right now, it looks like they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Natasha Howard makes 11 players, which is the minimum that you are allowed to have on a team. But if it were me, I would want to add a little bench depth, because one of the things last season was they were pretty gassed very often, and I thought that that led to a lot of turnovers, a lot of mistakes happening on the Fever. But I think that the Fever will be developing Grace Berger as their backup point guard / shooting guard, plus that number 8 draft pick, adding that to the roster, that would give them 12, and I think adding that is definitely something that they're going to want to do. As far as a little bit of future development for the Indiana Fever. And man, if Sonia Citron were only available at that spot, but her draft stock has gone up so much that there's no way she's going number 8. It could be Aisha Sivka. It would be so great to get Anissa Morrow, who's at LSU right now. It would also be great to get Maddie Westbeld, Janiyah Barker, if she decides to declare. And these are all forwards that can come in, that Natasha Howard, a veteran, can kind of cultivate and build up into that power forward, small forward position for when she is ready to retire or just start minimizing her minutes. And while, yes, Natasha Howard's defensive prowess had declined last season at Dallas, I do think that coming on a team with Stephanie White, who had the second best defense from the Connecticut Sun last season, could be a big potential and plus for the team, for Natasha Howard to show like what she actually can do on the court. But the Fever needed front court depth, and this helps with that. And she is a veteran on a team that does lack that. And honestly, the Fever didn't have to give anything up to get her. Now, is she that 3-and-D player that we were all hoping to get? No. Her threes are kind of lacking in that area, but we do have Lexi developing in that area, who has shown a lot of potential in the 3-and-D position. But I am hoping that she can be a veteran defensive anchor for the Fever, and I am still kind of hoping that the Fever go for Janelle Salon overseas. Maybe Howard can help Salon grow into the WNBA. I don't know where this leaves Lexi exactly, but I do see Janelle Salon, Natasha Howard as being a plus for the Fever while developing their number 8 draft pick. It is still up in the air about what is going to happen with Erica Wheeler. The Fever also have Victoria Saxton, who has not really been given much time on the court, so we don't know what she can do as a developed player. But Erica Wheeler has really shown that she is such a plus in the locker room. She is such a plus on those sidelines. She is the mascot of the team. So they have the cap space. They can keep Erica Wheeler and cut Victoria Saxton, because they can't keep both, because then they will max out over 12 players. So we have yet to remain to see what goes on there.